Replacing parts on your flowtoys club is easier than you might think. In fact, you could swap out the body or handle with just one screw in order to try a different body or put a clean one on for a show or because you've just used yours very, very well. So there's a few parts and you can see them all here. There's the main shaft, which houses the light core and has a flange on one end and a plug in the other. And these are the 2 points that really connect everything together. The body fits up onto the flange, the handle fits up onto that, and the knob screws into the plug and holds it all together under compression. So I'm going to take this one apart so you can see how that goes, and then the cap fits onto the flange. You can take the cap off first, and you can use a screwdriver to unscrew that screw. It's really important to use the right size screwdriver. It prevents you from wearing out and stripping out your screw over time and makes your job way easier. This is a number 2 Phillips screwdriver. It's by far the most common size. It's kind of what most people would consider a normal size Phillips, not extra small or extra large. And to remove a knob, you can even turn the club instead of the screw. And I'd recommend just taking it about what would be halfway out so that it still stays in the knob and keeps track of your screw that way. Now you can remove the handle simply by pulling. The handle has a very snug fit here and here. You just have to pull past that and it comes right off. The body is really tight around the flange and snug here as well. And to get that off, you need to really knock it off. So I'm going to use the table here. If you're doing this on your mother's dining table made out of reclaimed, polished like wood, you're going to leave marks. Be careful. This is hard polycarbonate, kind of sharp edge circle here. Don't do this on a table that you like that can't handle it. So you might want to put down some cardboard or do it on the floor, on a carpet or a piece of fabric, anything to kind of dampen that blow. And you're going to really give it a good, almost like you're stabbing the table. And that's going to pop the flange out of the body there. Don't worry, you're not going to hurt the club doing this. I'm much more worried about your table. And you can just, give it a really good knock. So let's say I wanted to swap from a smooth body to a grip body. This is what I would be doing. I'm going to put that grip body on there. And you can see it's first going to hit resistance down here, where it's snug around the shaft, and you can kind of like just get it lined up to the point where it's almost on. To get it the rest of the way, I'm going to give it a really good smack. That's going to have to go, ultimately, if you have fresh body pieces, they're going to be pretty flat, and they are getting compressed once you put the screw on, so you're actually going to see a little bit of like a concaveness to the end of the body where it meets the flange. Then put the handle on. Now here you really want to be careful. The edge of the ring on the handle is very thin and you can catch it on the body or the shaft as it goes on. So you want to really guide it and make sure that it's centered as you push the handle on. If that's caught on one of the edges, it can fold under and damage it. It'll probably be fine. You can fold it back out, but you'll see a white line where it got damaged. And then you can kind of twist and push the handle on. And that doesn't take too much force. Now, there is a small gap here because we want everything to feel really tight. It gets compressed. So there's a small gap here between the end of the handle and where the knob sits. And especially if you have a new knob, the foam hasn't been compressed yet, the washer hasn't been compressed yet, and so the screw barely sticks out inside the knob. It doesn't even stick out far enough to really quite reach the plug. So this is where having the right size screwdriver gets really important, and also using a lot of pressure. So I would recommend doing this standing up, maybe with your club on a chair, and pushing straight down. Want to make sure you have good alignment, so your screwdriver is parallel to your club, pushing straight into it. And you want to lean your entire body weight into it. You just pretty much push as hard as you can. If you have an electric screw gun, that helps a lot. So I'm just kind of pushing with all my force with every turn and trying to maintain force on it between turns, because if I just get those threads caught a little bit and then release the force, it's going to pull up again, right? So I can see now it's already started catching, it's going in, it's compressing the knob. I can relax a little bit. I don't have to maintain force between every turn now. And now at this point I know it's caught really well, and now I'm just wondering how far in should I screw it. It's good to have it nice and recessed, and you want to get it pretty tight. I mean, you're pretty much screwing the screw in as far as it can go. It is possible to go too far and push the screw through the washer. You don't want to do that. I would say this is about good. So if I put the screwdriver across the knob here, you can see kind of the depth of the screw relative to that. It's about as deep as the screwdriver is thick. So if I look at it like this, I can see my screw is almost as far away from the bottom of the screwdriver as the screwdriver is thick at this point. And that is a really nice depth. That's going to protect your screw, and it's going to protect your plug from damage every time you drop. You don't want that screw and all that leverage hitting the ground. It's also going to protect your floor from damage from the screw. So that is, once we add the cap, a well-assembled club.